Hey everyone, welcome back to this session. In this session, we're gonna talk about the Flask framework to build web applications using CSS and HTML. In this tutorial, I'm gonna explore the fundamental concepts of Flask framework, and I'll also explain how to implement Flask framework to build fully functional web applications. By the end of this tutorial, you will be able to have the solid understanding of how to build your fully functional web applications using Python, HTML, and CSS. Let's go.
What is framework? Framework is a collection of modules or libraries that helps us to write code for developing web applications. So it is a fully developed package that makes the web development process easier, faster, scalable, reliable, and flexible. So Flask is one of the Python framework that help us to build a web application. What is the difference between Flask and Django? Django is another framework. Both are the most popular frameworks written in Python programming language. They are considered to be one of the popular web development frameworks that help us to develop web applications. So the key features of Django, let's see what are the features. Yeah, they are common actually. So what are the key features of Django? Django is very fast. So the working process of Django is extremely fast as compared to Flask. Versatile, adaptable, and scalable. It has better features when compared to Flask frameworks, but Flask also has its own features. Django is secure, security is guaranteed, so it is powerful authentication systems is supported, and protocols to avoid like cyber attacks, unauthorized access of pages or texts or databases. Our focus is Flask. So what is Flask? What are the key features of Flask? Flask is a lightweight microwave framework. Why it is a lightweight micro framework? It doesn't support or require any particular tools or libraries, and it is also independent of any external libraries. It comes with a built-in server and debugger. It has its own built-in servers and debuggers, like WSGI web server gateway interface. And the other integrated unit testing is already enabled in Flask, and it enables faster while debugging the errors or any bugs, and it is robust development and freedom to experiment. It is an attribute of HTTP requests that enables security channels and ensure no unauthorized person has access to the text or pages. So it has its own security cookies, so no one can access the unauthorized pages or texts. It supports Unicode characters. It is simple and adaptable configuration. You can simply configure the Flask. The other most important features of Flask is compatible. It is compatible to the latest technologies like data science, machine learning, AI, cloud, or etc. So most of data scientists are using Flask to test, to publish their own machine learning models, AI products, or any data science analysis. So it is compatible. The other important features of Flask, why I choose Flask, is flexible and scalable. It supports WSGI server templates that allow us flexible and scalability for developing web applications. So those are important key features of Flask. That's why I choose Flask. My intention is just focusing on machine learning, AI, and data science. So that's why I choose these frameworks to develop a simple web applications. what are the difference between Flask and Django? Django is an open source. Both are open source actually, but Django is MVC. Flask, it doesn't support this model view templates or MVC. So you need to create your own MVC. So that is flexible. But in Django, you cannot modify or change the modules or the model view templates. So Flask is a small scalable system without any specific set of instruments or outside libraries, because it is independent of any external libraries or a specific tool. Django supports the most popular relational database systems like MySQL, Oracle, etc. But Flask does not support the basic database management like MySQL, Oracle, or what. But we need another library or tool to leverage the database systems to connect with database systems, relational database systems like SQL Alchemy. SQL Alchemy is the most popular tool to connect Flask with a database management systems for retrieving, storing data, or anything we want to do. And Django is less flexible as compared with Flask. It is because of its inbuilt tools or libraries. Developers cannot make any changes to the modules because of that is the flexibility issue. Or the MVC or MVTP is already built on Django framework, so you can't change or modify the modules. But Flask is a micro-based framework. Why it is micro-based framework? Because of it doesn't require any external tools or libraries. So with extensive libraries, making itself a flexible framework for developers. Django is inspired by Ninja templates, but has its built-in model view template that makes the development process easier. Flask, it uses Ninja template design, but it has no any MVT or MVC templates. You can create your own model or design from the scratch. So those are the difference between Django and Flask. So the most important thing here is the flexibility. So if you wanted to develop from the scratch, you can use Flask, but if you don't want to develop from the scratch, you can use Django. So Django supports many features. So now let's get started. What are the requirements to start Flask? First, you need a text editor. Okay. Actually, I use Atom. Atom is the best editors. Actually, I recommend Visual Studio Code. That is best for editing code, for indentation, for it supports a lot of extensions. So you can use Visual Studio Code, but Atom is also best editors. So the first thing what you to do is create a structures. The structures here, create a folder somewhere on your computer or desktop or any location. Now, once you create this folder, inside this, you need to create the structures. The first thing is you need to create a virtual environment. Virtual environment is important to isolate your project. The most important features of Python is a virtual environment. So to separate different projects or isolatedly keep your project, so you can create a virtual environment on your project. Here, I have created a virtual environment. Now, let's change my working directory to desktop, and my folder is on desktop. So let's change to blog app. Here I have created nothing. So now let's create a virtual environment. To create a virtual environment, use Python -m option, then VAN environment, then virtual environment name like this. This one is the virtual environment name. This is the virtual environment keyword. Now to start this virtual environment, just source bin activate. Now the virtual environment is started. You can install the Flask on your virtual environment to store, to keep all the libraries or projects in this virtual environment only. So we use the pip command is important to install Python libraries. Install Flask. Now the Flask module is installed in virtual environment, not on the whole computer system. It installed on virtual environment. It's only useful for this project only. So if you want to create another project, you can create another virtual environment, and you can keep all the libraries in that virtual environment. Now I installed the Flask, and now let's create a project here. The virtual environment is created. In this project, in this folder directory, let's create our new folder, that is the models. Let's create our models. All the models, the classes will be stored in this models directory, and create templates. So because Flask doesn't support MVT, so we need to create our MVT, our structures, design structures. So, and also Flask support routers. We need to create routers. The views will be kept inside the routers. The templates or HTML files will be stored or kept in the templates. So DOM, especially when you create templates, this is a common name. So if you create like rename template, the route or the Flask server doesn't recognize or know the template. So this is a case sensitive. So you need to correctly create this folder name. All the HTML files will be kept inside this templates folder. And outside this, we need to create app.python. This contains to run your Python or the Flask app. You need to create outside of the folders, but inside the blog app. And the Flask library is installed inside this virtual environment. So you can start virtual environment to run your application, because the Flask is not installed in the computer system, but installed in the virtual environment to separately keep all libraries that are important for our applications. Okay, now if there is no files here in the routers, we create all the views files, Python files inside this. For example, let's for the first time, let's create index.py. Here first, here we import Flask from Flask. import Flask. We need to create app here, app Flask name. Just we need to register all the routers or views in the Flask app. Now with name main if this just run our app. The app actually the default server is localhost, so you can just call the host name. You can actually give your IP address of your computer or any other IP addresses, localhost, and port. The default port is 5000, but you can give your own port name here, 5, like this. This is if you wanted to run the Flask app, you can simply run this app, just Python app but it doesn't run any application because the index file or any other route file that's going to run on Flask application. So we need to create a route to route the HTML to render the HTML files on web browser. Okay, here in the routes, we have created index dots from app, import app, and from Flask, because this app is important to route, to register our routers in the Flask app. From Flask, we need to import render template. This is important to render our HTML templates from template files. Then we call app.route method. Then we can give the route name or the URL name that refers the HTML templates. For example, index. And then return render template. Here we have no HTML files to render, so we need to create HTML files inside template index.html. Here you can create any HTML. This is an HTML which is created inside the templates. All the HTML elements will be, files will be created inside these templates. The routers will render the HTML files, which means the view. When you think about the MVC, it is a view that views the HTML on a web browser that renders the templates. Here app.run. Now we need to register the index.py, the route inside the this app.py. When you call this from routers.index import all. So we need to import all the routers inside this app.py. When you run this, all the routers will be render the HTML files on web browsers. So now we have finished this Flask. Now let's run our application. Now just we call Python, then URLs must start with the leading slash. Okay, there is error inside. Okay, Yeah, here in the index, the URL is not indexed. The URL is not built on Flask by default, so we need to build our URLs. So now the server is started. The server is started. You can start your web browser and run the application by calling the localhost and port name. Then open your web browser and call the address of the Flask app, that is the localhost, and including the port address 5500, and just display the hello welcome, because this hello welcome is found here. So this is HTML document which is found in the templates, and the routers render the HTML documents through the address. The address will be registered to the Flask app using app.routes. App is imported from the app.py, because here we have declared, we have created the object Flask, and this Flask will run all the routers, because all the routers will be registered to the Flask app through the URL addresses here. So the render templates is the function from Flask that renders the HTML documents from templates. If all the addresses are registered, it will route the HTML to the Flask, and if the HTML document is found in the templates in that address, and it will render and display on web browsers through that addresses. So this is a simple way how to get started with Flask. And in the next time, we will see how to create form using CSS, HTML, and JavaScript. Welcome everyone to Python Lab. In the previous tutorials, we have seen how to get started with Flask. Today, we're gonna talk about how to design layouts using Bootstrap. Because Flask doesn't support Bootstrap by default, it doesn't have a built-in Bootstrap layouts like Django. So we have to create the layout from the scratch. Now let's get started. First, create a static folder in the blog app directory, because this static folder will keep all static files like CSS, JavaScript, and other files. Inside this folder, we need to create a separate folder, CSS and JS. All the CSS files will be kept inside this. For example, master.css, and we can create our own CSS file classes here. For example, background attributes like f2, padding is 0, and font size, we can give a default font size for or text files, and we can create another class, wrapper class with maximum width 100%, and head class like padding left is 40%, and we can give more attributes for this class. Now let's create a separate another file inside template that is called base.html file, which contains all resources, CSS, Bootstrap, and other resources inside this HTML file. Here we have created a normal HTML tag, we can include a meta tag which supports all devices, small size device, a large size device, and blah blah. Like where this device, where this initial scale would be 10. And if we want our app supporters or compatible to other browsers like Internet Explorer or Edge, that we can include another meta tagger HTTP equivalent XA XUA compatible. And the content that supports this meta tag is Internet Explorer or Edge. And here we have created our. So here we need to include all CSS file. Now let's use bootstrap, live bootstrap. So we need to copy the live the link of live bootstrap from bootstrap website, and it does. And we can also include our master static file, this file in our header. Or here we need to use URL double like process URL for this is the keyword that function used to call the URL where the file or the your file will be located. So we here the URL is static, which the file is found in the static folder, and file name would be css master.css. This is the way how to include our CSS, static CSS. We can also include JavaScript if we have a JavaScript inside this static folder file. And header, we can create a block of title, block title. Here, our title would be included here in the, then we enclose in the block. So we open a block. So in a template, we need to write like this using brasses. Inside brass, we use $. Inside $, we use the block keyword, the block keyword that, and that block should be enclosed by in the block title. And now in the body of, we can also here block body. If we have a JavaScript or jQuery, we can include in the body of this base.html file in block. Here we can include inherit JS or jQuery here in the body of base.html. Why we need to create a separate file base.html? Because all resources will be kept here, and we can extend this base.html file in every HTML document. So that is the easiest way, because we don't need to include all these resources in every HTML file, but we extend this file in the header of the HTML document. Now let's go to the index.html, and we don't have any file here. Now in the first, in the header of this, we use extend this, and we extend base.html file here. Once we extend, we can use all the resources, the classes of the CSS, JavaScript, all things, resources from base.html, which is included in the base.html, because we have extended from this base.html file. Now we create head, block head. int blog head. In the head, we also open the title, blog title. In the blog title, we can write the title, blog app, and include we end up the title of blog. Now, let's open the blog body. In the body, we can write our HTML elements, HTML tags in the blog body. Here, let's create a div that div is wrapper. The wrapper is class is found in the master.css. This is the wrapper class. In the then inside this we can call href5 class head, and we call the title blog. Here then now let's create container class, which is a bootstrap class. Bootstrap because the bootstrap is already inherited in the base.html file, so we can use all the classes from bootstrap, from live bootstrap. And here container fluid is a maximum width, 100% width, and we can also use now divide our page into two parts. First, we give a row, and we can. It is simple to divide rows into columns using column, and we create a left side, I mean column maybe three number of columns we can give, and we can give the width 1.8 rem. Here in the first column, in the first left side columns, we create class card. I mean, we can create this in the card notes. Yeah. Now in the card, there is a card is to create a card, then card header. In the header, we just write latest article. Then here outside of this header and inside the card, we create a list. The list that there is a group, there is a class that grouping a list group, and list group flash, and that's grouping the list item, list group item. Here post 1. Now this is the end of the left side. Sorry, this is here. Now let's create in the right side column MD. The first 3 columns have been created, and then on the right side the contents of the, we can give seven number of columns in one. Then div class card, then div card header in this, post by admin. And outside we can create div body, called body. In this body, we can create h5 class card title up title post one. This we can say, and we can create a class of card text. This is my first post. Now, here the end of content column or right side column. Now, this is the end of container. Container fluid. Oh no, this is end of row. End of row. Okay. This is wrapper end of wrapper class. Now let's save and refresh our web browser, and let's look at our blog app. Hey, this is our blog. In the left side, the latest article would be displayed. In the right side, here we can also include the button like read more. I mean, button PTN primary and read more. Yes, read more here. So this is the way how to design the layouts in Flask template using Bootstrap and static CSS. And we want to display more posts that iteratively to display like here we can use a for loop like for I in a range of, for example, in three posts. This posts, the for loop would be end here, end for. In the post also we can include for I in a range 3. Now this the for loop should be end of the block of for loop should be ended here. Now let's refresh our website page and let's see. Yeah, this is the way how we can design the layouts of Flask template using Bootstrap. So in the next time, we will see how to develop a CRUD operation, CRUD like read, write, retrieve, delete operations from database, MySQL database using SQL Alchemy. We've seen 2 sessions in the last time, and we have discussed about how to get started with Flask and how to design layouts using Bootstrap and CSS. Today, we will continue from the previous tutorials we've done, and we connect our Flask app to MySQL database using SQL Alchemy. SQL Alchemy is a mapper class that used to define and validate queries of MySQL database. So before that, let's create the layouts of the form that's gonna be used to create the post. So to do this, just first go to the index.html. Okay, let's get started. First, let's create a button. Here is the layouts of the index of the home page. This is the left sides that display the latest articles, and this is the second column which display the list of articles posted by anyone who are the admins or the privileges to post any resources. Okay, first let's create a button here in the inside the row, and the button is to redirect to the post.html page. Posts, this is the path that redirect when you click the button, just route to the post.html page. The post.html page we are going to create is that used to create register the posters, the articles. Okay, class, just button class success, and put the button to the right side of the layouts, float end, just floating to the right end of the layout, new post. Okay, when you create click this button, it will route to the post.html, but we don't have any post.html page, so we need to create that page to into the templates. This is an empty page, so just to save your time, copy all the layouts from index.html and paste here, and just keep all the things here, but change this to when you just change the button to home. When you click on home, it will get back to the home or dashboard of the index page. And this is the left side is just, you can keep as it is, but go to the right side contents in the column MD7 class, and remove this part, the for loop block, because it's not necessarily here, and change this, the header, create new post, and avoid inside the card body class, avoid this, and create form attributes, and give URL for this, just keep as it is, and inside the form create the list div group form group, just label title, give title, and grouping the form, that is the class attributes, CSS bootstrap attributes, input type is text, and the name is title. You can give, because it is important when you create when you register the form, we just request the name of this form, and we can give required attributes that protect our form from submitting empty data into database. Okay, this form group, then let's create another form group. And label, the label you can give description about the title of the post, and we create text area rather and give disk for the default rows and columns are provided, and type is text. This also give required attributes to keep submitting MBT. And the other is button. Submitting button. We need modal footer. And we just give for button. The type should be submitted. And we don't need to provide name for this. And also give class for primary for this and name create. Okay, now we have finished all the layouts of the form to register the posts into MySQL database. Next, we need to create routers because without routers, it doesn't redirect to the any page or HTML route. So go to the index.php and create the route. Create routes to post.html. Add app.routes. Just give posts because this route name is similar to the path name. Similar. If you analyze and otherwise it doesn't redirect to the required page. It will, because it will not find that path. Okay. Now create div post and return render to templates to post.html. Okay, let's start our server. Actually, I have started the server previously, and this is the layout, the new post. When you click this, it will redirect to the post.html page. And when you click on home, it returns it back to the home page. Let's give class for our form control. Also give class form control. And if the buttons just give primary, change it to primary, the home page. When you click this, it redirects to the index. The routing name of this index is this one. So because this is the first page, automatically redirects to this page, index page. You don't need to give any route name. Okay. This is the form, but when you click this, there is no action button applied, so it will not insert any values here. Here, there is no method is not allowed actually here. Here if because we have no created the routes for this. This is the home page. Okay, now next step is creating our database, MySQL database. Actually, let's assume you have a MySQL database, but we need to install the SQL Alchemy and PyMySQL libraries to leverage the MySQL database to Flask app. Okay, now go to the just install the pip install SQL Alchemy on your virtual environment, and also install PyMySQL. This is important when you connect your PyMySQL. Okay, this also already installed. Okay, now all the required libraries are installed on your virtual environment, let's assume, and let's start our server again and create a configuration file first. Here, actually, I have created a file config.py, which keeps all the configurations here, and create a class config import OS operating system that, and secret key. This is important. This is a random secret key that securely keep your application from unauthorized access or from any illegal activities. This grabs the folder with the script runs os.path, the absolute paths of your scripts, where the scripts are stored or located. Just automatically grab the directories and debug. This is true. While debugging mode is true, it will just help us to debug our errors or bugs. When you are in production stage, you need to turn off the debugging mode, because that is not important in the production, which means when you are published your application on cloud or any server, so you don't need to enable the debugging mode, just debug keep false instead. And here is the important, the database URI. The database URI is MySQL, PyMySQL. I use MySQL actually. You can use other database management system or relational database. PyMySQL, and this is a colon. A root is the MySQL database default username, and I use a password actually. If your MySQL database has no password, which is not set previously, so just leave empty this one. I have provided a password for my MySQL database and add symbol the localhost. The localhost is the address MySQL database. Actually, a default is localhost. If you are publishing on server, you should provide the server address here. Then slash the database name, the log app. So I need to create the database inside the MySQL database. Here, create new database, the log app. Once you create, you don't need to create any table here. Anytime the models should be created in Flask app. So when you are running your server, all the tables or the database tables will be migrated into this database below app. So then call the name below app here. Don't miss spelling here. So this is the database URI. Important to set this SQL Alchemy database URI, because SQL Alchemy is important to map your MySQL database queries and validate and define all the database queries. And SQL track modifications keep false. This is turn off the Flask Alchemy event system and any warning if you want to create user or login system. You can use the setting security password hash method, like just you can use any security. You can also set security password salt. This is if you wanted to upload any picture or images, you can just set all the upload extension, upload folders in static. All static files will be kept in the static folder. Okay, once you set this, all the settings, required settings, just go to the app.py, create machine and initialize plugins here. Then app.config.from object. This is a method. Then call the config is the file config.py. Inside this, there is a class config. All configuration files will be create here and import from the config.py, because this is the config file. Okay. Now let's create a SQL Alchemy object, database object. Let's create. Keeping all the files separated is important to manage, to debug if any errors are generating or found. Okay, db.py. Here from Flask SQL Alchemy import SQL Alchemy and create the database object for the SQL Alchemy. Then in the app.com, just import from DB module, import the object DB, because here we have created the object DB for the SQL Alchemy. And here initialize, db.init app, initialize this SQL Alchemy database into the Flask application, because analyst and otherwise to knows creates this database. Okay, and also here with creates app context, create all database if database not exists db.create all. This is the method from SQL Alchemy. So when you run your application, if there is a model, database model, it will create if that database is not exist in MySQL database. Okay. Now we have finished this part, and the next stage is creating a model for our application. Go to the models directory and create a new file, post.py. Here first import the database db, from db import db. Then we create the class post and import the models from the database model inside this. Then create columns for our database table. ID is primary key, which is iteratively increase the number that identifies each post. db dot column db, this ID should be integer, and keep this ID primary key. And title of the post db column, and give the type for this column db dot string type, and provide the number of characters. And description for this post db dot column db dot text, the type of this column, and post date, date of the post db column db dot date. All these are the columns of our database table post. Now instantiate the object div init, create self. This is a Python. If you know Python well, it is so simple. Give title name, description, post date, and assign self to each, which is the self is the object of the, automatically assigns the object name when you instantiate that object. Title self dot disk, description self dot, but you don't need to instantiate the ID, because ID is automatically or auto increment. When you insert a new post into database, it will increase by default. So because we keep it a primary key. Self post date, I mean here post date, p date. Okay, now we create method, create div create post dict, just create a dictionary as a parameter for this method, and new post, assign the dictionary post, the object of the, we are instantiating the object of the post class, and title assign post dict title, and comma, the disk post dict disk, and p date post date post dict p date. That are the title, the dictionary key are all are these just assigned to the arguments and pass to the as an argument to the function init, or the object init as an argument. Then create the post, create the add to the database, and commit the changes. db.session.add method and call new post. When you call this, just it will add into database and commit the changes. db.session.commit. Now we have finished our model. We have created the columns for our post class, post table, and instantiate our objects and pass the attributes, arguments as a parameter, as a dictionary to the parameters, title, description, and post date. And we commit, add to the database and commit to the changes. Okay, now go to the index route page and we create the routes for our form. Here we provide action for in a post.html file, and in the form action we provide create post. This is the method. Then go to index.py and route to create post at app.route create post, and methods are either post or get request methods. Those are the request methods, and create post method for these routes, and request the methods. First request the method if the request dot method is post, because in our post.html the method is post. So when you request this method and the URL or the path is exactly similar to this path, just it will do something. Then get form values from the form. Title. Request the title form from the form. Just call the name. Request the name of the title. This is title. And the name of the description is disk. That's it. Okay. And disk request to form disk, and post date. Post date is just take the today's dates. It doesn't matter. Just import from datetime and import date. Just date today. Now pass to the save. Save to the database. How? First here call import from models post, import all the modules. Then post dot create. We call the from post. We call this create method and pass the form values as a arguments, as a dictionary. Title, the dictionary name here in the post is title, disk, and p underscore date. And title is this one, assign, and disk the disk and pdate. The dictionary key name is pdate, and assign the pdate value. Now finished. Okay. To now the post is successfully saved into a database. Just flash message. Flash message. First, import Flash from Flask and flash the message. Post created. And once the post is the flash message is returned and redirect to, return the required paths or URL, redirect to URL for post. If this is the path, this one. So when you successfully save the post data, it will redirect to the page post.html. But we need import URL _4 and redirect from the request also should be imported from Flask URL for redirect. All these are the methods which are modules from Flask module flash. Now we finished all things here, and go to post.html page and create success message here from flash, add flash to display success message while new record. New record. Just we use the block with messages get flashed messages method. End with here. Inside this, we just, if there is a success messages from by these messages will be got from the flashed message. So if that message is available, the success message is available, and if inside this we need a for message in messages end for all blocks should be ended. Then we create div alert success alert dismissible role alert. Then call the message value, this one. Okay, now we have finished our let's test our application. Let's run our application local host. Okay, here. Okay, I missed here, not from. Here, there is error. Okay, then again run the server. Okay, config not found. Okay, module config. Okay, from objects config just call this name maybe. Oh yeah, not config, just config. Okay, not okay. No modules model. Oh, more model. There is spelling error here. Okay. Here in index.py models. Okay, let's check again. Yeah, now it's the server is started, and let's run our application. Okay, let's create a new title, intro to Python, and description. Python is a powerful object-oriented programming. When you click, okay, create post did not return a valid or either returned indeed without a return statement. There is error in create post. Go to this in post, make sure the path name is create post did not return a valid response. The function is a returner or indeed with a return statement. Oh, here there is a spelling error. PSOH, that should be post. So a lot of errors have happened here. Intro to Python. Okay. Python is object oriented. Okay. Then yes, successfully created. Let's check our database. Localhost MySQL database. And when you run your application, automatically all the database will be created into MySQL database. If not existed, Go to below up database and look into post table. Post table is created. And all the columns are created, title, disk, post date, and title. All the things are created successfully. You can add more title. Flask. Flask is a lightweight micro framework written in Python. Then click create. Yes, let's refresh our page. Yes, Flask is okay. Go back to home, but the post is not displayed, retrieved, viewed on our home page. So to do this, go to the index.py route page, and in the index, because our what we want is to display the page, the database data on the home page like this. So in routes, just get data from database, post data here, db.session.query post is the class name, model class name, or the model name, the order by post.id, id of the post, which is auto increment, descending order, disk, and method all, get all post, and a render pass to the render template. And when you run this application, it will pass all the data into the template in index.html. Post data. Now go to the index.html file, and in the content here, change the for loop by post in posts, which is passed from index index routers rendered by index route, which also holds the list of posters. Then here posted on, just use the post date. This is the class, the field name in the database table. Here call post title name. Here call post disk. Now refresh your Blog app web browser, and let's see the outputs, the views. Okay, undefined posts. Okay, here not posts, post this. For every post in posts, just iteratively display all the posts from MySQL database. This is the date from date column, this one, and the title Flask. This is the newest post is from the last in the database, and it will be displayed on the top of the Blog app. And Flask layout, this is the description of this. And the second post is posted on this, and title is this. And so when you create a new post here, now let's SQL alchemy. Alchemy is a mapper which is used to define and validate the database schema. Great. It's successfully created the post, and go back to home and you can see the post. So this is a simple way how to build a blog app using Flask and SQL Alchemy and MySQL database. So the next time we will see how to edit, delete posts from MySQL database. And for today, thanks for watching.